People, what's happening? What's happening? Welcome to another episode, Trash Talking with the Old Heads. You
Yeah,
know the
yeah, yeah.
tagline. We say what the hell we want to say. I'm your host, Dante, of course, along with my debate partner, Greg C. What's happening, bro?
You know what it is, baby. No excuses.
Yes,
But I'm
sir. I see that.
champion.
I see you representing that Bama as usual. As usual. And of course, got my boy Black Bayless up there. Jerry Wren. What's happening, JW?
What it is, man? What's going on, fellas? Why
Uh,
play like a champion when you can be a champion? You
I
know how
feel
we
you. I feel
get
you.
down.
Y'all had to excuse the glare, brothers. I'm coming from you straight from the loop. You know where I am in St. Louis, hanging out with some family.
Show me the state.
You already know, bro. You already know, hanging out in the loop to show me. Man, we got a lot of topics to get to, bro. So we can definitely get to it. Big week one, NFL in the books. You know what I'm saying? Week two already underway. So we're definitely going to talk a lot of NFL today, a lot of NFL. We're going to get into a little bit of that cash talk. And you already know we got that signature segment, trash talk. Greg going to take out the trash. And I know y'all, we're going to definitely get into that. But we
We got a
got it.
little trash to take out today. Got a little
You
trash.
already know. You already know. So we definitely got to get into some week one takeaways, though, brothers. So, Greg, week one, bro. What's your overall takeaway, bro?
Cowboys, Cowboys, and more Cowboys. How about no, I'm just I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into them boys, Got a little big D energy coming up. That's what she said. Until further notice, the Chiefs are still the team to beat. Right? Yeah, I mean they look the part, even though they got some not so good news with Marquise Brown, Hollywood being out, but I think they got a player in Xavier Worthy, Rasheed Rice, as long as he don't get suspended. And we saw what they looked like against the Ravens defense. The Ravens defense ain't never no slouch. Eagles, they got weapons, man. They got a lot of them. Saquon Barkley brings an element that can really boost them above in the NFC. As long as Jalen Hurts take care of the ball, I don't. They got they. I mean, they're gonna be formidable. I'm saying that as a Cowboys fan. I picked the Eagles to win the division. They scary. The defense kind of look a little shaky, but I think they'll round in the form. They may not be a top 5, top 10 defense, but as long as their defense can be not as bad as last year, they got a chance. The Lions looked the part of a contender. They played a solid game against the Rams. My only apprehension with them is Jared Goff. Will he turn back into a pumpkin? We saw signs of it last game, but they got a solid offensive line, probably the best offensive line in the league. The Bills could possibly push the Ravens and the Chiefs. I like what I'm seeing out the Bills. Ravens are counting on LJ to be a better passer than what he is. So that's what I got based on week one. This is just week one.
Right.
Anything can change. This is just my impressions of week one.
Black, what you got, brother?
Oh man, from time to time, y'all gonna hear me say stuff like, please continue to take us seriously. When you got Greg talking about the Dallas Brokebacks, um, as if I don't understand what he was saying about the Eagles defense. I thought the Eagles defense played pretty well. They was able to knock a quarterback out of a game. They got after him. They made him throw off his back foot a lot in that game. I like what I saw. Um, the only thing I did not like with the Eagles, because I was impressed with them overall, only thing I didn't like was uh, the inconsistent play of Jalen Hurts. Now that may have to have something to do with him getting on the same page with the quarterback and offensive coordinator and them, kind of uh, settling him down and getting him back on the pace he had, 2 years ago when he was playing MVP type football. I was excited. I was really, really excited about the start of the season, not just because of my 49ers fans. We showed that we're still a formidable team. And for this man to come out here and say KC looked like the team to beat, after what we did in week 1 against a good Jets defense or a defense we made look bad. I really don't understand what you're talking about with the Chiefs. Chiefs got some things they got to figure out. They're gonna have to get more rushing yards, I think, within that offense with all of the new receivers they got, and also the aging tight end over there in Kelsey. But the biggest thing that surprised me were 2 teams. I was surprised by the Bengals and the dud they put out there in week 1, and
I picked to win the AFC North.
now we got questions about Burrow again. That's disheartening. But even though it's disheartening, we got to expect that. That's who he is. If he's got a hand injury, that's what we've seen ever since he's come into the league. He's banged up. He's hurt. The other thing I like what I saw in Pittsburgh, even though they got the quarterback situation that is not settled in yet. I like what I saw in their defense, and I like their commitment to the run. Now they're going to have to shore up that offensive line around whoever's going to be the quarterback. I don't think it's going to be Justin Fields. Justin Fields just not ready. He's just not ready. He's just not ready to be an NFL quarterback. So I think they'll be a much better team once Russ gets in there and they lead with the run game. So those are my biggest takes. I didn't want to just repeat all the things that Greg.
I don't either. I mean, my overarching it kind of goes along with what Greg said, man. The good team, they are who I thought they were. You know what I'm saying? Most of the good teams, like I said, other than the Bengals, who I think will be a good team. I think. I'm not sure after that dud, like you said, you know what I'm saying? I think the Bengals are going to be a good team. You know what I'm saying? But with T. Higgins out and, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see on them. But for the rest, the Niners, the Chiefs, Detroit, of course, Green Bay is in a little trouble now. Dallas looked good. I'll give them some props. They look good. The teams Houston looked okay. The teams who we thought were going to be good, for the most part, showed up in week 1. You know what I'm saying? And played the way we thought they were going to play, except, for Cincinnati. So we'll find out this week, you know what I'm saying? Because they got another test going to KC. Was that a trend or what? You know what I'm saying? Because that offense looked putrid, basically. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much my takeaway to it. I'm kind of in the same vein as both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Teams that showed up. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, man. Hold on. We ain't gonna let this man slide now. First and foremost, I said the Cowboys, and I did say I was just playing, but the Cowboys, like you said, did look pretty good week 1. We'll get into that. We'll save that for another conversation. But I do want to apologize because I did miss that the 49ers won the Super Bowl last year. Oh, my bad. They didn't. It was the fucking Chiefs. So how the hell the Chiefs ain't the team to beat is beyond me. What are you talking about? This the 49ers. It's the fucking Chiefs, dude. What are you talking about? Let's get it right. Let's get that right. It's the Chiefs. They the team to beat. They got the best quarterback.
I mean, honestly, with me, I can't speak for Jared, but for me, until Shanahan proves he can get it done, I'm with you.
All right. Okay.
I'm with you. Shanahan, to me, I'm not letting him off the hook. For me, he on the hook with me. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you've blown 2 Super Bowls.
Just checking chins over there. That's all.
Oh, right? Yeah. I accept that on Shanahan's behalf. You know what I'm saying? He got things to prove to me.
I thought I missed something.
The point I was trying to make was what team looked the absolute best in week 1. That's what I'm saying. The 49ers look like the very best. But we'll get into that. That's the only comment I was trying to make.
Against the Jets. Oh my God. Okay.
We'll get into it in a minute, man. Of course, we're gonna roll into your signature segment there, G, the Big D energy, baby.
What did I tell you once before that?
Pause.
Don't you come to my segment with that low energy. No Jeb Bush energy.
I will never have any
big D energy.
Hey,
That's what she said.
I will never have any energy for your Cowboys.
I don't give a hot damn.
None, sir.
It's all about the how bottom nation, baby. That's
Come
all
on,
it
man. Come on with the Brokeback Report. Come on, man.
we
Yeah.
ain't we
Hey,
don't care nothing
Jerry,
about that.
that's what it should be called for real.
We don't care nothing about them Cecil San Francisco.
Matter of fact, that's how I will introduce your segment going forward, sir.
You will not, sir. You will
Hey,
respect.
every week y'all lose. That's the name of your segment.
You will respect the D. You will respect the D.
It will be the broke back segment. Every week y'all lose.
Yeah, whatever. Y'all was expecting to have that segment this week. And so let's let that be known. Let's let that be known. If we go back and pull the tape, these fellas said that we would
So did you. So did you. I'm not letting you get away with that.
So let's get into the energy report, shall we? Let's get into what's coming out of Fort Worth, the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, okay? Coming out of Jerry World. First and foremost, you know, before the week one even got started, we had the big signing. Dak and CD are both signed now. And as I said all summer long, Jared Wren is not Jared Wren. Jared Jones is a damn idiot. He continues to play chicken instead of chess. Why are you waiting to sign these fellas when they just beating you upside the head with this money and these big extensions that you just signed with Dak? You could have signed him last year, dude. You could have signed CD last year and saved the franchise more money so you can be a bigger player in the free agent market. But that's not what you want to do. Who knows what type of money you're going to spend in free agency if we were able to save you? I mean, I say we, talking about Dak. If Dak was able to save you a little bit of money on his contract and get it more on the back end. But that's another story for another day. Let's get into football now. Dak was efficient and smart with the ball. You know, we ran the ball. I wouldn't say we, was effective at running the ball, but we were efficient at running the ball in that it wasn't 3rd and 10, 2nd and 9. We were getting 3 and 4 yards a pop, and it kept us in 3rd and manageable, especially in that first half. So I was impressed with how, especially against the Browns defense that was number 1 in the league last year, right? CD looked like, say what now?
Last year, okay.
Yeah. Last year they was number 1 team, and they lose. Who did they lose off their defense? Did they lose anybody? They still got Myles Garrett. They still got them cornerbacks, Hayden, and so yeah, the defense played exceptionally well in spots. So then the offense did what they had to do to get the win. So let's point out a couple of factors that we saw. We saw CD be effective as he was. He only had 61 yards, but they were important yards off 5 catches. The defense was able to take advantage of, of course, the Browns had people missing off the line of scrimmage, Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin, which the defense was able to exploit that. We were able to get a lot of pressure on Deshaun. But my biggest takeaway from this week, one thing I wanted to see was how our linebacking core was going to play. Eric Kendricks is smart. He knows Zimmerman's defensive game plan. He's been with him. That's why Zimmer's brought him over. He had 9 tackles, 6 of them solo and 2 sacks. And the boy I've been telling you about, Dante, that we was missing last year, especially with Van Der Esch, DeMarvion Overshawn out of Texas. If you watch the game, that boy popped off the screen. You know it. I know it. That hater over there in Orange knows it. 11 tackles, 5 solos with a sack. He was everywhere. Long, rangy, fast. Now, I'm not saying he Fred Warner, but he's exactly what we need. A thumper, fast, and along with Eric Kendricks playing the mic, we got some decent linebackers now, which is something that we certainly missed last year. I want to see what we're going to do against a better offensive line with that's more.
Okay, get to the meat of it. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the point I was waiting on you to make. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to be fair and honest. I'm going to be fair and honest always. What I see is what I see. So I want to see what we do against a better offensive line with a game plan around running the ball, because that's been our issue.
Right.
We can pass rush with the best of them, but when we have to stop somebody who's going to run the ball and put us in third and manageable situations, can we hold up and
Yeah.
and
Deshaun Watson is
what we had
washed.
to do?
Jerry Wren, you got a rebuttal, sir?
Well, the thing I didn't hear, while he was bragging about the Browns defense, he didn't really say much about the Browns offense. The Browns running with Ford and Ford back there, and
You had 1,000 yards last year.
oh, okay. Last year, okay. In this game, he had 44 on 12 touches and rushed less than 4 yards a pop. Um, and
That's,
then at
that's what the
quarter,
defense is supposed to
and,
do.
and then as far as offense, they played. It was 11-10 out there on offense. That's what I saw, Dante. Quarterback was not interested in playing, wasn't trying to play.
Well, when you got when you got Michael Parsons breathing down your throat,
Okay,
what you gonna do?
I'll comment on that too.
It wasn't like he was missing wide open receivers. He was under attack the whole
we do
game.
we do this every year. Yeah, the Cowboys look like they do every year at the beginning of the year. Fast,
We're talking
rushing,
about
rushing
down
after the
this week.
quarterback coming off the edge. They get their hands on some picks and stuff like that. The DBs look all good early in the season. They do this every year. But we'll have patience. We'll
Can
show
we
patience.
keep the
We'll see at
conversation about this
the end of
week's?
the year, and we won't be able to see any of that.
Can
But
we keep the conversation about this year?
they look fast. I just said they look fast. They look fast and went after the ball and all of that. They played 11-10. So that's where I leave that. They played 11-10 last week. All that other stuff, and you finding new players and all that, man. Nobody want to hear that.
Well, you gonna hear it. This not a new player. He was supposed to play last year.
I mean, for me, I ain't got much to say. Like I said, just basing on this week, like I said earlier, I give them props. It was a good win. They did what they were supposed to do. If you got an undermanned team that's not didn't play well, got a quarterback that don't seem like he want to play, you supposed to beat them. And they did what they were supposed to do. I have no problem with the win. They look good. You know what I'm saying? Dak didn't have to do much in this game. You know what I'm saying? Because that defense took it over. Deshaun, you could tell early on he wasn't going to be a factor. Once Micah started getting to him, it was over for him. So with those two linemen out, you could tell early they weren't going to be able to do anything offensively. So good win by the Cowboys. I give them props for it. Now, normally I would say what you said, but I think the season will unfold and we'll see what happens with all that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't even have to comment on it at this point. You know what I'm saying? The history is the history. We all know it at this point. You know what I'm saying? So around week 8, 9, 10, we'll take another look. You know what I'm saying? It'll come up again. You know what I'm saying?
We don't take a look every week.
We'll see.
I mean, we can just put the report down and just be like, okay. I mean, we better talk about it?
I'm just saying, as far as you said, taking it week by week, I'm not going to give an overarching position on where y'all going to be at the end. I'm not going to say it because the weeks will unfold as they unfold. We'll see.
That's for everybody. That's for every team in the
NFL. Jerry is correct then. If that's the case, then we know how this is going to end.
Tick, tick, tick,
we know
it.
Okay.
Y'all small, y'all gonna get beat up, run into us and anybody else that can run the ball, and it's gonna be over for you. We know it.
Dirt naps.
We already know what it is. But let's move away from that garbage ass segment on to that bang bang reports.
Bang bang, baby.
Bang bang.
West side.
The one that mattered.
What did you see in our
superior 49er team. What did you see week one?
Listen, man, for us to go out there without our leading back, with
MVP candidate.
our wide receiver late to count, our best or the best left tackle in the game
Just showed up,
wasn't even in count.
played every snap.
For us to go into the game against a decent Jets defense and make them look like they're not a good defense, and then their upgrade at quarterback and put up 32 points. We put 2 touchdowns on the board. I was very impressed with our kicker because he put in work. He put in major work. I like the fact that he was able to, score from all over the field.
I knew he was going to be good once he kept making those in the Super Bowl. I'm like, yeah, we found one.
Yeah,
if you do it under pressure, you can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got the better kicker.
Our
The
defense.
one that's been to the Super Bowl and made him in the Super Bowl.
Brandon Aubrey.
The one that made him in the Super Bowl.
70 yards.
The one that made them in the Super Bowl.
From 70.
The one that kicked them in games that matter.
And then
came up with an L.
The one that kicked them in games that matter.
And then also for our defense to not have our starting safety back there. We still without Greenlaw.
Right.
And for
Team
us,
not even whole yet.
Right. The defense is not even all the way together, but we look very formidable.
Secondary looks better.
Aaron Rodgers had that one run in the first half, or that one drive where he looked like, Aaron Rodgers, and his
one garbage touchdown where everybody stopped.
So for us to just shut all that down, we look real good. We were hitting on all cylinders. We scored relentlessly and consecutively. Really enjoyed what I saw on the field, considering all the people that we don't have available and didn't have in camp. So that was very impressive to me. Kyle Shanahan kept it together, the mastermind that he's wants to be. I like the way he kept the team together and had us push forward and get the job done in week one. We look good.
Yeah, man. The game plan was impeccable. You know what I'm saying? That's what's frustrating about him.
And I ain't even mentioned Mason. My bad. I'll let you do that.
That's right. That's I got to get to that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he had that game plan for that boy, basically the one cut, get downhill, and just beat him up front. I didn't think we could do that to him. You know what I'm saying? But which, to me, the offensive line looked better. The rookie Puny looks good at right guard. Colton McKivic's held up much better than he had last year. Trent was Trent. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be Trent. You know what I'm saying? The run game looked good. My only downside to the game was not punching it in a few times where we should have got touchdowns instead of field goals.
Well.
Got to clean some stuff up there, because that game should have been worse for real.
Right.
Had we cleaned some things up in the red zone and not kick those field goals. I mean, so if we get that cleaned up, man, like I said, I'm with you. We look good. I'm not, like I said, we look good for a team that's not even whole yet. We missing the big parts of our team at this point. 3 major factors: Hufanga, Greenlaw, and McCaffrey. So to look like that against what everybody, including G, is saying is a playoff team, I'm impressed. You know what I'm saying? It was a good win. Am I getting overly excited about it? Nah. But it was a good win. You know what I'm saying? For a team, especially with Brandon Ayuk, you could tell he was rusty. Dropping passes.
I had the Jets making the playoffs.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you, G.
I don't think I had the Jets making the playoffs.
Oh, okay. I thought that was one of yours.
No, I had the Browns. I had the Dolphins.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's say everybody has at least as a fringe playoff team. So, which them and the Browns, basically, they're those kind of teams who are on the back end of the playoffs somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, for me, it was a good win. And, am I overly impressed? I ain't gonna say overly impressed, but I thought it was good for what we were missing. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get better, obviously, as the season goes on. Yeah. And Mason, he gave me a lot of confidence that the run game can still be effective with the way he ran the ball. Is he the same as McCaffrey? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? McCaffrey does more things at this point in his career. But for what Shanahan needs him to do, Shanahan's mind, along with his running style, it works for us. It'll be good enough to beat Minnesota this week. I'll put it that way. We can beat a team like Minnesota. I think we'll be fine until McCaffrey comes back. Because part of the report is too. Of course, he might go on the IR, which will put him out for I think the next 3 weeks or so. So I'm okay with that because the Achilles, we don't want to play with that. You know what I'm saying? So they saying he got some kind of strain in there or something. So we don't need that thing to pop because in order, I think, to get to our ultimate goal, we are going to need him to be healthy. So good win. You know what I'm saying? 49ers are the 49ers. We're the cream of the crop in the NFC. Everybody knows it. We're the one when everybody's looking at it. We're better than Detroit. We're better than Dallas. We're better than every team in the NFC right now. Right now. Even without McCaffrey, I think we're the best team in the NFC.
The hell? Because y'all beat the Jets, the team that didn't make the playoffs last year?
Because we have a style that will beat y'all easily, as far as the Cowboys. Now, Detroit,
that was last year. It's a new season.
Yeah, same.
Better than that. Saying that you're clearly better than everybody is like saying that you
when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, it's rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat.
I dominated the conference. The Eagles won the year before.
No, but we're dominating you. I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, okay, but that we ain't the conference. You don't have to just beat us. You got to beat a lot of teams. You barely beat.
I said we're better than the Cowboys. We're better
barely
than
beat the Lions last year.
We're better than the Eagles. We're better than Green Bay.
It's my time to rebut. It's my time.
Now all of a sudden he don't want to talk about last year. But he want to talk about the Browns defense.
It's time to rebut. It ain't no now all of a sudden I don't want to talk about last year. I'm talking you barely beat the Lions. But you coming out here talking about y'all beat the Jets and we the best, we look the best because y'all beat the freaking Jets. Why? Because they got a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers?
No, because we're missing three major pieces of our offense.
Okay, the Cowboys were missing 3 major pieces from their defense. We got 2 players on the offensive line that was playing in college last year. Against the best defensive line in football.
You chose that. Your owner chose to do that.
It don't matter. What are you talking about? We're playing with what's on the field.
Exactly.
What's on the field for you. So for y'all to come out here and talk about we clearly the best team in week 1, stop.
Who better than us in the NFC? Who better than us? Who's better?
The Lions.
Man, get the hell out of here.
It's week 1. You can't say that.
I can't say it. I can't say it. The same way you can say KC the best in the AFC.
They are Super Bowl champions.
Right, and we're NFC champs.
That don't mean nothing. You're first. If you ain't first, you're last. If you ain't first,
you debunked your own argument when you said that.
You ain't first, you're last. And because the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes.
That's just 49er hate. You just made the same argument.
They are the team to beat. They are the team to beat.
And in the NFC, we are the team to beat.
You're not the team to beat because you haven't dominated. You was the team to beat last year.
We'll move off that. Broke back logic.
Yeah, we will. Because we got to move on.
Let's get off this dang report. Let's move on.
But as far we got to move on to your boy and something serious, man. That Thursday night game, of course, that Tua Tagovailoa injury, man. Hated to see it. One of those things. I think they say he's had 3 in the last 2 years or so, as far as the concussions, man. Ren, what you think, bro? Should he hang it up? I've been hearing people talking about it all day. And should the man hang it up? Should he not hang it up? And are the Dolphins done?
I said it 2 years ago that football just is not in the cards for him. You've heard me say that I thought Tua is very talented. I think his ball placement is out of this world. One of the best I've ever seen as far as his ball placement on some of his passes. But yeah, pro football is not in the cards for him. I mean, he gets concussions when he's tackled, when he's hit, when he's hit and tackled, and then he hits the ground. This time, he prepared for the contact or for the impact.
Created it.
So he was expecting all, the contact and everything. He was prepared for what was going to happen, and he still was concussed. And this is against a DB. That's the smallest position on the defense. So yeah, man. I just don't think pro football is in the cards for him. Although he's a talented player, you know, on this particular team. As far as I would like to see him retire, I just would because for his long term health. I know when you play football, you sign on the dotted line to, put your body at risk. I get all of that, and they pay you a lot of money to do it. I get all of that, but at some point, this is too much. He's young now. We've heard all we've read and heard all the reports about CTE and brain damage in this sport. The lasting damage that it causes. Um, I would rather see the man retire. Like I said, I thought that 2 years ago. Now, as far as the Dolphins, listen, man, I get it. The Dolphins have a big following. You know, I I think a lot of people still hang with the Dolphins as far as my generation because of Dan Marino was so prolific as a passer, one of the best passers of the ball we've ever seen. Maybe we have some of those mainstays because of Zach Thomas and what's my man name Taylor, but I don't get why people follow the outside of that. I don't get why people follow the Dolphins. Man, they are gimmicky. They are gimmicky. You know what I'm saying? They need all the tricks. They need all the little gimmicky plays in order to play the game. But when it comes down to lining up and playing hard nosed gridiron football, they not with it. They are
Man,
not with it, man.
right. And that's against a Bills team. I don't even think it's that good.
Yeah, I mean the Bills have put everything on Josh Allen. They got ran on. The Bills got everything they wanted against this team, and they had no fight back. They had no fight back.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'll end with this. Tyreek Hill is a great player. He's a great player. But when your best player, and a lot of people are not going to agree with this, but when your best player is what, fathering, how many kids they said he had in the offseason? How many?
That,
5? Didn't they say he had like
ridiculous number.
5 kids in the offseason or something like that?
Man.
Listen, man, I don't know if he's married or not, but you having 10 and 12 kids out here, like, what are you serious about? Are you really serious about trying to be one of the best players ever in the game and leading your team to a Super Bowl? I think not when you got all that baggage out there. The situation with the situation with the police. We're gonna talk about that a little later too. But you say the thing I do want to say about it is he said y'all about to have me late. Why the best player supposed to be the first person in there and the last person to leave? It's game day. You shouldn't have to be speeding trying to get there on time. You're the best player. You're the franchise player. You know what I'm saying? So they're a joke to me. I've been saying it for years. They're a joke to me. I do not take the Dolphins serious. I don't understand why their fans are fans of that team and other organization. They live in paradise, man. They can't take it's going to be hard for them to be that rich and play hard-nosed football and be serious about trying to win games. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give up when it's cold and all of that. It's too much to overcome before they get to the field, man. I've just always felt like that. But that my main point, when Tyreek Hill is your best player and your franchise player, and he doing all that foolishness, all that irresponsibility, you ain't about to do shit.
Greg, thoughts on Tua and the Dolphins, brother?
Feelings are like assholes. Everybody got some. That's ridiculous to say, Jerry, that they ain't gonna never win one. They just got to get the right pieces in place. Come on, man. This is not something that can't be overcome because somebody got 20 children. He can overcome that. They just got to get a quarterback that can stay healthy and get a bigger receiver because playing Tyreek and Waddle. And you saw what the Bills did last night. They played their shell coverage and was forcing everything down. to the side. You know what I'm saying? Forcing things out the backfield, and they ran the ball pretty well because they were playing that too high safety. A-Chain was getting off. They had a couple untimely turnovers that really turned the game around. If you look at it, Tua's first interception really wasn't his fault. The ball was put on the receiver. It was a little off target, but the receiver
he ain't got his head around yet.
Yeah, had he been looking for the ball was there for him to have. It was a timing throw. The second one was definitely a timing throw. So I don't know if it was miscommunication or not, but it looked like Tua was expecting the man to run a 9 route, and he cut it off. And so Tua launched it out. The cornerback was playing. It looked like they was playing man over, and he was in position, just an easy pick. The third one was Tua trying to make a play. They had put themselves in a hole. He was under pressure, and he threw a bad pass. Bad decision. So football is situational, man. Everything isn't, it's not played on paper. It's not a video game. It's situational. It's situations, and they just put themselves in a bad hole, and it turned out to be what turned out to be a drubbing. But as far as the point with Tua, he got to retire, man. That wasn't even a violent hit. You know what I'm saying? He was the one making the contact. It was in the body of Hamlin. Wasn't even a helmet hit. And not only did he get concussed, but he probably, from what I'm hearing, was the more severe concussion that you could possibly have, which is, I think, I can't remember what they called it, but whatever the
fencing, he was down on the ground reaching and fencing like a. Yeah, they liken that to being an infant. What you see infants do, reaching out as a baby. Yeah.
Yeah, like he had just been, you know what I'm saying? He got hit by Thomas Hitman Hearns or something, you know what I'm saying? And that's the second time that he's had that type of concussion reaction. The third time you've had it in 4 years? This is his fourth year playing, fourth or fifth year playing. So yeah, man, when you think about quality of life and what you do after the game of football, who's to say the next concussion may not be permanent brain damage? You know what I'm saying? Or cause him to have, what Muhammad Ali ended up having when he retired from boxing. So I think Tua could be a good quarterback. I think the Dolphins could be a good team. I'm not sure about Super Bowl. I think the pickup with Jonnu Smith was a pretty good pickup. I was hoping to see what they got out of Odell Beckham. When teams do run that shell coverage, they can run a bigger receiver who can play underneath and exploit some of the matchups.
Enough with this Odell Beckham dude, please.
Also, I believe Mike McDaniel, he called a piss poor game, but I again, it started with when they put themselves in the hole in their first drive. And
McDaniels is like he's out there trying to prove he's a genius, like his previous boss was. You know what I'm saying?
They had the right concepts. Okay, if they're gonna run that shell too high coverage, throw it underneath. You got A-Chain, you got receivers. You know what I'm saying? Run some screens for Tyreek. Run underneath with Jonnu. You know what I'm saying? That'll bring him out of it. And then you'll be
run after catch kind of dudes. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you know what I'm saying? So you bring that too high safety look down, finger high.
Do y'all not think Tyreek and the way he has to play is almost kind of part of the problem with the Dolphins? Because he's basically, to me, he's a one-trick pony. He's a run by people type of wide receiver, gotta be in space in order to
man, come on, man.
He's not a possession.
The history doesn't show that though. Yeah, the history doesn't show that. He can take the short passes and go to
the short passes. He can
like
take.
I said, McDaniels is the one to me who always wants to splash plays.
They do a lot of that motion Tyreek, and it does get the defense to, and that's how.
And he's turned them into a really finesse team, like Jared, kind of what you were talking about earlier, Jared. They're a finesse team now. They play that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's the coach, though. I think
they gotta play that way with their playmakers. Their playmakers are smallish. Even Mostert.
That's what I'm saying.
But that don't mean you can't win. You just have to be smart about it. So they got a tight end that's
It does
they got
mean
a
you
decent
can't
tight
win when
end.
it counts.
You
And
just need a third receiver that's bigger. You know what I'm saying? A third or fourth receiver that's bigger that you can run, you know what I'm saying, big boy wide receiver plays. You know what I'm saying? You can
can't
run.
beat good teams. So it does lend itself to you can't win because you can't beat if you can't beat good teams, you can't win.
Well, again, part of that is being able to play defense too. So you got to go to the other side of the ball. It's not all on the offense. You know what I'm saying? Every championship team, even the Chiefs last year didn't win on offense. They won because their defense was solid enough that if they got into a match with a team that was pretty solid on both offense and defense, they could play defense to where the game didn't get out of hand.
To me, that's what was disconcerting about. That's what was disconcerting about the Dolphins.
Like the Dolphins got smacked last night, though.
They had James Cook looking like Walter Payton or somebody out there last night. To Greg's point, that defense looked awful, man. They couldn't stop the run at all.
The defense hadn't been good when they played against those power teams. They have not been good, and so it gets the offense to play out of. I ain't gonna say out of position, but they start to force things. You know what I'm saying? So now everybody can play too high. They see, okay, we play too high, make them go underneath, and then they get in a situation to where they down 14-0. Will they be patient enough to still throw everything underneath to take what the defense give them?
Yeah, but the bottom line,
they ran the ball. If you look at it, they ran the ball pretty effectively last night.
But the bottom line, we expect their offense to be the best part of their team. That's supposed to be the best asset they have out there on the field. And they did jack shit against the Bills at home, no travel and everything. And
short week, we already talked about what a short week does.
Okay, but you're still at the crib.
A-Chain ran for 96 yards. They didn't have Mostert. They have the pieces to compete. I'm not saying to win a championship. They just got to have the pieces on the other end when teams have your number that you can stay in the ball game.
I mean, for me, they're a regular season playoff team. They're good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not gonna make no noise.
And they're gonna lose to every good team they play.
Yeah, that's kind of how I view them. And for this year, I'll get to Tua in a second. But as far as this year, it's over for them. They done. You know what I'm saying? They're done as far as this year. Greg, that pick is a wash right there, bro.
After two, and we're already making this decision after 2 weeks.
I'm making it. Yeah, it's a wash, bro. Because I don't think you're gonna see Tua for a minute. I don't think he's gonna retire. Now I do agree with y'all. I think he probably should walk away. And you know me, bro. I look at everything from the money standpoint. And doing my research on it, what happens is if he's cleared to play and chooses to retire, he can get about $43 million of the guaranteed money. Now, if he's medically, they say he's forced to retire, he gets every penny. So that alone to me lends itself to the fact the doctors are going to clear him to play. That's gonna happen.
They need to let that man live, man.
That's gonna happen. They're not gonna just give him $167 million. They're gonna clear him to play.
I don't want to see him get killed on the field. I don't want to see him have the same type of play,
some of these other people,
similar play or hit or whatever, and his next and after his next concussion, he can't play anymore.
Right. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's a 26-year-old man who just got a contract that's generational wealth.
I'll tell you, it's on the cards because he talked about it recently that his parents wanted him to retire.
I bet they do because they tired of seeing him on the field looking like that. Yeah,
he said he thought about it.
$167 million. Put that into the equation. $167 million.
From everything I've seen of this family, this is not a typical American capitalist, money is everything type family. They
see, that's the outward thing.
Again,
he said as a youth when he threw interceptions, his dad would beat him. So yeah, I think they are that kind of family. Now, are they close? Absolutely. But I think football is that important to them. They moved to Alabama. They all moved to Florida. Football's that important to that family. They thought they had two, but now everything is on two of them. They thought maybe they was gonna have two of them, but it turns out only one of them was good enough, which was two. I don't think he's going nowhere.
Well,
I think now $43 million to me is
a
enough
lot of
to be
money.
generational wealth.
There you go. That's what I was about to say.
Plus whatever 20 or whatever he
absolutely
made in the first contract. So you're looking at 60 whatever $1,000,000. For me, that's generational.
if he was responsible with his money, you know
If
what
he
I'm
was
saying?
responsible with the money.
But he
But
seemed
I'm
like he
taking
got a
care of
good
the whole
head on his
family.
shoulders, and
That,
it probably.
that first contract might be gone.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, who can't live off of 40? I know I can. Let me get $43 million.
Right. But you know the old adage, bro, the more you make, the more you spend.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get into his money like that. I just don't see him walking away after in the first year of that deal. He wanted so bad for the last 2 years. I got it. Now I'm walking away from $167 million or $120 million because he's get to 40. So
It's definitely hard to do. It's definitely something that he would have to. It's gonna, really test his, his principles.
it's gonna test you, bro.
It's gonna test. I mean, we can sit here in the comfort of our own basement and say, or for you in the comfort of the hotel lobby in St. Louis, Missouri. But hey, like you said, that's a lot of money to leave on the table.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this: Dolphins ain't making the playoffs.
I told you it's over for him. When I say it's over for him, that's what I mean. It's a wash as far as the playoffs this year.
We'll see. This is a long season. Again, anything can happen. They may, struggle for a second. They may,
Skylar Thompson to the rescue.
Tyler Thompson it is. Tom Brady come out of retirement.
But man, all that being said, man, I wish Tua the best, man. I'm like I was telling Corey in the group, man. I'm not getting on him for that. I'm truly concerned about his health. This is the third time I've seen him in unnatural positions on the football field. Stuff I hadn't ever seen in 40 years of watching football. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people with concussions and be wobbly.
I seen him when he got hit. I said he out. I knew it.
You knew it.
That's fragile, man. He
knew it. And like Jerry said, it wasn't even that bad. And it was DeMar Hamlin. It's not even that big a dude. And my bigger question, I know it's a little insensitive, but why the fuck didn't you slide?
Trying to because it's situational and they need something. So a head first,
right?
He was trying to run. He was trying to run over something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bend, you know what I'm saying? Turn around, let him hit you if you didn't slide or whatever.
But definitely don't go head first into the man. What are you doing?
Yes. That was crazy. Damn, Tua. Roll Tide built by Bama.
It's over for the Dolphins, but moving on to this new segment for right now that we calling our Power Five, the old head Power Five, Greg Sears, where we're going to be discussing our top 5 teams after each week. Who you got as your 5, brother?
All right, for my Power 5, let's start with number 5. I got the Lions. Very impressive win against a pretty good team. Offensive line is legit. They're going to run the ball. They are going to run the ball. They got Aiden Hutchinson. They got a solid defense. Number 5, the Lions, and I'm doing this because I'm doing with the.
Oh, I thought you said number 1. I'm sorry.
I said 5.
Hey, I got some stuff going on around me. Okay,
man, hey.
Bruh, I was already debunking your list. Like I'm done with your list already, bro.
Man, this is ridiculous, man. Get yourself together. Number 4, I have the Bills, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is still that dude.
Now I'm done with your list.
They got the most impressive win out of the first 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, going in Miami and throttling Miami.
That was impressive.
Yeah, that was impressive. In Miami, that was impressive. Number 3.
You rather easily impress me.
Hey,
brother.
this is my Power 5, sir.
And wipe that off. You got some white stuff right there up under your nose. Wipe that off.
I ain't got that girl up under my nose. You got that boy. You got some of that brown with lace with fentanyl on your nose. If you're gonna try to come at my Power 5, that's why you're choking right now. That fentanyl getting to you.
Ooh.
Somebody get him a strip over there. Get him some Narcan. No, man, but yeah, I got 5 Lions, 4 Bills, 3 the 49ers. Dominant win against the Jets.
Hey, somebody turn his mic off. 3
the 49ers, 2 the Eagles, and number 1, you already know who I got number 1. Should I say it?
No. Broke back. Dallas broke back.
Mahomes.
Wait a minute. Who?
The Chiefs. Pat Mahomes.
Oh. So run them down one more time, bro.
If you paid attention the first time you get off that boy, you would have heard 5
Detroit.
Lions, 4 Buffalo,
3
49ers, 2 Eagles, 1 Chiefs.
That boy left his Cowboys out of there.
I am not a delusional fan. I keep trying to tell you.
All right, I'm impressed. I don't like the list. I don't like your list, but I'm impressed that you left your boys off.
Go ahead, Dante.
All right. At number 5, I know G ain't gonna like it, but I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna put them at 5. And again, my list is based just on purely week to week what I saw.
That's my list. That's what I did.
Okay, just week to week.
Impressive wins. I did it by impressive wins. Who had the better wins?
And all we can go off of for week 1. Real, I know we argued about it earlier. All you can go off is expectations from last year when it comes to week 1 of this year. That's basically that's all you got. That's all you got. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland had a really good defense last year. They were a playoff team last year. To go into Cleveland, beat the playoff team, make them look bad. Yeah, they were missing some pieces, missing linemen, but no run game. But
so were we.
Right. You can only play who on the field. So I got the Cowboys at 5. I thought that was a pretty impressive win by them. At 4, I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I got some trepidation about them overall as a team. I still don't believe in that young secondary. They got the big horses in the middle on the D-line with Carter. Now, Carter is a beast. Jordan Davis can't stay on the field enough to get enough snaps. But when he's on the field, you know what I'm saying, he's a man amongst boys. You know what I'm saying? He's a beast too. But he just can't stay in shape enough to play enough snaps. You know what I'm saying? But I think with that offense, Brown, Smith, Saquon showed you what he is. If your boy from Bama don't keep throwing the ball away and giving it to the other team, they will be a problem overall as far as in the NFL. 3, I'm riding this all the way with these boys. It wasn't as impressive as I wanted it to be, but I'm going to go with the Texans. I saw enough where I think that they're going to be a problem, just like I said they're going to be. I still got them coming out of the AFC. I think that Stroud's for real. I think he's going to prove that he's for real. I think he's not – what I liked about it, he didn't have to force the ball to Diggs. It didn't look like that was a problem at this point. Now, Diggs did get the touchdowns, which, of course, is going to keep him happy because in the red zone, he did look for him. But he wasn't having to throw the ball 12 times to Diggs, and that's really the only thing I worried about with Diggs coming on board. Mixon looked like he's refreshed and ready to roll. They're a problem. Their defense is going to get better. They're going to be a problem. Next, of course, I got to go with Detroit. I like them. I don't worry about them as much as Greg seemed to, but they are a pretty complete team at this. I like the big boy they got in the middle. Now, that makes a difference on their defense.
At 2, Dante?
Say again?
You got them at 2?
I do.
And then you thought I had them at 1, but you was about to lose your shit.
Wow.
Yeah, I was, because they not won. Because we know who won.
If it ain't the Chiefs, I know so.
It's the San Francisco 49ers.
Where the hell the Chiefs at?
Fuck the Chiefs.
Oh my God.
he, he,
This is some bullshit.
he protecting them. He protecting that Texas pick, man. He protecting that Texas pick, man.
This is unbelievable. You need to go ahead and say what you said earlier in the broadcast. Say it again.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hold on, no, let us finish. G. World, please, seriously, please continue to take us seriously on these mics.
Negroes, but
let me finish, man. The Chiefs, man. See, y'all didn't let me finish though. Y'all see y'all talking, but y'all didn't let me finish.
Oh wow.
Me, the Chiefs aren't on the list because I'm with Greg. They're the standard at this point. So yeah, they're my standard bearer at this point. So we all know that with Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're up here. I'm not putting them on my list. You know what I'm saying? Because they're what everybody chasing. They already won. You know what I'm saying? They're
nice try, Dante. Nice
the
try.
Super Bowl champions.
Nice try. That's a
they're
nice.
The Super Bowl champions.
That's a nice save, but you cannot not have them on my list.
You know what I'm saying?
They just got to be at one. You just got to.
They're Super Bowl champions. Everybody else on my list is chasing them. This is my list of Power 5 that are chasing the Kansas City Chiefs.
So do we need to rename the segment the Chiefs Invitational?
Hell no. Greg, when we get back to the studio, we're gonna let Dante hold Soldier Boy shield because he protected
we're gonna put Soldier Boy in your seat. Soldier Boy taking over your seat, dog. You have to stand there like Soldier Boy.
Boy, he's standing on business with that Texans pick, boy. Standing on business.
The Houston Texans will win the AFC. And I want y'all to remember, hey, everybody out there watching that, remember this damn video right here. Go back to it. What's the date today?
Remember it? We're going to take a picture.
September the 14th. It's 12:02. September the 14th. Remember I told you the Houston Texans.
We're going to write it down.
The Houston Texans will win the AFC this year.
Well, I'm going to go ahead.
Hold on. I mean, you can have the Houston Texans winning the AFC. That don't mean the Chiefs ain't in the top 5, but
because they're the standard.
The standard bearer, and this is the Chiefs Invitational Tournament.
No, we're not doing that, Nick. Right? So here we go. Very impressed with G leaving his boys off the list, but I got his boys at 5. I got the Dallas Brokeback.
Yeah, they got to be on there. They after week 1, they on there.
I got and I'm gonna be quick, because y'all dove into all of them. I got the Bills at 4.
What?
I got the Eagles at 3.
Okay, hold on, man. What is it y'all seeing in the Bills that I'm missing?
They're not playing a finesse game. They're playing run pop. What they did last year. They run the ball.
Give me. They beat the Dolphins and who? They beat the Dolphins and who? Who they beat week 1?
They beat the Arizona.
And so y'all impressed by them beating
you impressed about the Niners beating the Jets?
They better than the Cardinals. Come on. Look at those defenses, dog. Go look at the rankings from last year and tell me why you impressed with that.
Well, again, the reason why I got them at 4 because I had them off, but they beat the Dolphins.
Y'all believing in Josh Allen like that? Come on. Dog.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all.
Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in the league. Period.
No, the hell he is not.
Who better?
No, the hell he is not. Go ahead, Ren. Finish your list, bro.
Who better?
That's a topic for another day. We'll say that for next week.
The reason why I got the Bills at 4 is because of Josh Allen. He's a superstar quarterback.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Josh Allen.
I'm starting to feel Christopher Broadnax now. I'm feeling him now.
Okay, so I said the Eagles at 3. I got the Chiefs at 2 and then of course I got the West Side Connect.
Y'all ought to be taken out back and shot,
Number
tarred and feathered for this blasphemy that the Chiefs ain't number. Well,
listen, man, Detroit, y'all got both of y'all got Detroit on your list, and I thought Detroit was trying to get a game away. They got a balanced team, but they were trying to. They had some moments where they were trying to beat the Lions in that game.
My list is week 1. It's for me. It was who had the most impressive wins of the season, and I put the Bills. I should have had the Bills at 5. Now that you say
on impressive wins, the Bills shouldn't have been on the list. That wasn't nothing impressive about that.
Josh Allen is the reason why they're on the list, and because they have a good running, a solid running game, their defense still look like they can play. And they went in the Hard Rock Stadium and put their foot in Miami's ass. So
let me paint the picture to you like this, Dante. Of basically damn near all the teams we have in our top 5s, the Bills have the lesser weapons on definitely on offense.
They absolutely
definitely on offense. So that's Josh Allen that's getting you those dubs.
No, that's the Cardinals and the Dolphins that gave you those dubs.
So, well, I mean, you know,
I watched that Cardinal game. They had no business winning it. The Cardinals outplayed them.
Now the Cardinals, we probably can't say the Cardinals got better offensive play than the Bills.
I'm just not saying why y'all so
they did barely win that game, but they won it because of Josh Allen.
Against the Cardinals.
I get it, but he did it.
Dante, you acting like the Jets are just this world.
Y'all really drinking this Josh Allen Kool-Aid like this, man.
Does Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts is playing quarterback for the Bills, do they beat the Cardinals?
Maybe.
Okay.
With that roster.
He made 2 runs in that game inside the red zone, and everybody acting like it was such a tremendous feat.
But he can do it. He can do it.
Dante, this is again, this is us looking at Josh Allen's career. He's been a playmaker now
and a turnover machine.
That's what he has to get rid of, the turnover. Yeah, he definitely has to do that. We don't have him. I don't have him. I should have had him 5. Matter of fact,
at this moment,
I got the Lions at 4, the Bills at 5.
I ain't never been feeling Broadneck so much ever in my life.
I started to put him in.
We've never been on the same wavelength as much as we are right now.
Lamar Jackson is better than Josh Allen.
I'm saying he's proved just as much, if more. He's got 2 MVPs.
Man, the MVPs are solid.
What has Josh
Allen? The MVPs are solid, but
are you saying
Lamar Jackson getting those MVPs? Is it more because of his passing or his running?
You just giving him props because he's a playmaker.
No.
Josh Allen
is also an elite thrower of the ball.
An elite the ball over elitely.
He does. That's the reason why he hasn't gotten an MVP.
Right, and it's also the reason he ain't had no playoff success.
If you were starting a team, would you select Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
Who else on the team?
Huh?
What kind of weapons do I have?
Don't matter. Don't matter.
We've had conversation on the book in the group, and he's chose Josh Allen over Lamar.
He know it.
But what I'm saying is, y'all acting like Josh Allen is. I don't get it.
All right,
to me, they're right there together. They're the same. Neither one of them has accomplished what you're supposed to accomplish as a quarterback. Neither one. Josh Allen ain't had no playoff success either.
Lamar Jackson haven't either.
Right. So why do we put him way up here?
But Josh Allen actually had Patrick Mahomes beat.
Well,
13 seconds left.
So he like Burrow, still living off that 13-second game.
But he been in the NFC Championship game twice, just like Lamar Jackson. Or Lamar Jackson been in the NFC Championship game once. What is Lamar Jackson's record in the playoffs? I guarantee you, Josh Allen got a better playoff record than.
But you know what? We're debating this, but Dante, you got the Bills on your list, right? Aren't the Bills on your list?
No, he didn't have them on there.
Oh, okay.
I got the Bills,
but you
got
got
the Lions 4.
Okay.
And I'm not saying the Bills on a good team. I just the hype train for this dude is getting out of control early in the season. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I will say this.
Burrow is more of a hype train than Josh Allen.
They both hyped.
I will say this, that I could push the Bills down to 5. I mean, I'm not gonna change my list, but I could see pushing the Bills down to 5. I could even see pushing the Bills out of my 5 in order to put Detroit in, because of the two teams, not because of the two teams that the Bills played, but because of the Cardinals, the lesser of the opponents. The Dolphins became the lesser of the opponents just because they just don't show up against good teams. But I can see that. But I just can't see putting the Lions on there this early as a top 5 squad, because, like I said, like, they had moments where they tried to give the game away by being the Lions.
I mean, for me, it's the prowess that they have. I believe in the front. You win games up front, and I'm with Greg. That old line, they something to deal with. Yeah. And if you go back to that game against us last year, they whipped us up front pretty good. Their offensive line did. Now, defensively, they have something different, but their offensive line, they're a problem. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that offensive line, they move people.
They played perfect. They played perfect in the first half.
But they move people. To me, they like old boy be saying, when you can move a man against his will, that's a problem for you as a defense. And they do that pretty well. I mean, to everybody. I mean, Golf, if you can get to him still, he's still fidgety. So to me, that'll in the end, that'll be their downfall. But
they didn't move us last year.
But they proved to be the Lions. They did Lion things in the second half of that game.
Always.
And we played a better second half defensively to make them look like the Lions. So I'll say if the coach, I said this at the beginning of the year in our first NFL podcast this season, that if they have to overcome coaching and Golf when they play, as long as the coach is not out there trying to make those emotional decisions on the field and trying to, win games with 2-point conversions instead of just playing football and stuff like that, they may have a shot. And if Golf doesn't turn into a pumpkin every now and again, they may have a shot. But those are the two things that stand in the way. They have some decent personnel to get it done. That's for sure on both sides of the ball. But,
we'll definitely be updating these Power Fives every week, y'all. So stay tuned for that. But, man, we got to get into a little bit of this money with that cash talk segment. Hey, went 2-1 last week. Not a bad start. Like I normally don't even bet week 1, but 2-1 for the first week, not too bad. Them Raiders blew me up. I should have took those Saints like I started to. I knew they was gonna blast Carolina, but I thought that was a little too easy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, your boy Bryce, Greg, garbage. But anyway, yeah, boy, garbage. But we're gonna move on to this week's cash talk, man. I got them Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm taking the 7.5 points against Detroit.
Woo! After he just beat up.
Between the Bake Show and Mike Evans is for real. That connection is real. They found a little bit of a running game, and the defense is solid. And they showed they could play with them last year. So I'm taking that 7.5 points to the bank, that Detroit won't beat them by 8 points. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you there. That number is way too big. I think the Lions win, but 7.5, that's a big number.
Too big, bro. Way too big. Second, I know everybody down on Cleveland, after what the Cowboys just did to me. I'm not that high on the Jags like everybody else seemed to be. Give me the Browns plus the 3 against the Jags. I think this one could be an outright win for Cleveland against the Jags. I think it's going to bounce back this week. I really do. This is where I think 1 week causes the number to be skewed. Jacksonville is not much better than Cleveland.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, partner.
Me too.
Okay.
I don't know what Deshaun is. He seemingly is washed. Was it the Cowboys defense? Or is he washed? I'm leaning just beyond the playing the Cowboys. He haven't looked the same since he left Houston. So I think the Jags win by 5 points.
Okay.
I think Joey Lawrence, the Prince, Trevor Lawrence. I think he has a bounce back game.
Sunshine.
Right.
That's a I think that'll tell the tale right there because I got the Jags winning that thing in Jacksonville.
Deshaun Watson said he lost his father. He got another woman coming out here with these booty hole allegations, and on top of it, she's claiming rape. This woman is claiming rape. That's different. We hadn't had that. Throw all that. I think this is the game where all the talk will definitely be about. Oh, you got to bench him. You got to bench him. You got to bench him.
Oh yeah. If he looks as bad as he looks last week in this game, Jameis Winston will be starting next week.
I don't see. Well, I'm not gonna go that far. I think because I think the next game is I think they got the Giants.
If he looks ass this week, Jameis Winston will be starting next week.
Yeah, I'm
pulling for the Browns though. I just want to see number one, I want the Cowboys to not have this, for them to label the Browns a
garbage team.
Everybody we beat is called a tomato can these days, but whatever.
And turned out to be true last year though.
Aside from that, I do want Deshaun to get his mojo back.
All right.
I wish he could get. I
did have the Browns winning that division. They're not winning it. I had them being the number one wild card team.
I wish he would read the book Mama Mentality. I really wish he would read that and just put all his focus on his craft and improving his body and just dial into the game and just block everything out and just, really try to become the best player he can become and take the Browns somewhere they hadn't been in a while. I wish he had that Kobe-like focus and mentality to do that, but he hadn't shown that wherewithal to be able to do that, and that's unfortunate. But I was rooting for him, but he just don't. They go
that word again, wherewithal.
I think he's gonna find something this week, and I think they get it done against Jack. That could be an outright win. But an outright win, I did pick. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers and the money line against Denver. I think they outright win this game.
Tell everybody what money line means, Dante. Everybody.
All right. Basically, the money line right now is at minus 140, which means you have to bet $100 to win $140. Basically, is what that means. So if it was minus 120, you're betting $100 to win $120. So right now they're at minus 140. So basically, they're a favorite. Basically, they should win this game for me. You know what I'm saying? I think they're the better team. I don't like Bo Nix. Never have. I think he's a dink and dunk quarterback, which may be what Peyton is looking for in his quarterback. But I think Seattle showed him last week. This ain't preseason. You know what I'm saying? He made some really bad mistakes. He looked jittery in the pocket when they got pressure on him. Now, the defense in Denver is for real.
You mean Elway? You said Peyton.
No, Sean Payton.
Oh, Sean Payton. I'm tripping.
Sean Payton. So I think the Denver defense is real, but I think what they're going to find out with Bo Nix, they're going to be on the field way too much this year because he's going to turn the ball over. I don't think they're going to be able to get any explosive plays against Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh with an outright win. It's simple for me. They're better.
Who y'all think the better coach in that game? Tomlin or Peyton?
Tomlin, to me, if you're asking me, I think it's Tomlin.
It's hard to say. I can't choose between. I think they both good coaches.
They're both good, but if I had to pick one, I'd take Tomlin.
I don't know, man. Tomlin, I mean, ever since Big Ben left, he been kind of 8-8. He been kind of average. You know what I'm saying? But I guess you
Without
can say
Drew
the same
Brees,
thing for Sean
without
Payton.
Drew Brees, Sean Payton is below average.
That's a big piece, though. That's a big piece, G. I mean,
right.
But even his calling card has been his defense, and even his defense has been trash. Now, I agree with you that Pittsburgh is going to win this outright. I got Pittsburgh dominating. This is the first time last year. This is the first time. I mean, this last game was the first time that they've looked like the Steelers defense of old. They've been good. They were solid last year, right? They weren't great, and they haven't been great in quite some time. Last game, they looked really, really good. So
Yeah.
I'm not.
And Myles Garrett notwithstanding, man, TJ Watt, the best defensive player in the league. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, I got Fred Warner.
I got TJ Watt, man.
Give me Fred Warner. He the best defensive player in the league. Y'all got
I
the
think
best.
Fred is right there, but I take the guy that impacts the quarterback more. That's why I would put TJ ahead of him, because he impacts the quarterback. And anybody that's hunting the quarterback, I give them a slight edge over a middle line.
They make the more splashy plays, but when you have a linebacker that can play the run and can play the pass, can hunt you down from.
Oh, I ain't gonna argue with you about Fred Warner talent. I agree, but I just think TJ Watt, man, I see him make so many plays every single week. It's like, man, this dude just can't be. And he gets double teamed.
Miles
He gets
Garrett,
double
Michael
teamed
Parsons is making plays. But you can neutralize TJ Watt. I've seen it happen. You can neutralize.
Not much, not often, bro.
But yeah,
but that's the cash plan. So that's cash talk for this week, man. Hey, again, we 2-1 on the year, planning to go 3-0 this week. Come on, Cleveland. We need you to come through, Deshaun Watson.
It ain't gonna happen, bro. That dude got. See, he can't handle all the food on his plate.
But we got that signature. We got that signature segment right now. We about to take out a little trash. My boy Greg C gonna take out some trash. He got something on his mind that he need to get off his chest.
Yes, sir. Let's back up that truck. You know how the truck sound when you bagging it up?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're bagging up the truck to last Sunday, right before the game in Miami. We all saw the arrest video. We know the score. The talk that we get as youngsters, right? You know what I'm saying? We talk about Tyreek's arrest. The talk that we get as youngsters is best summarized by Big Gip from the Goody Mo B. From that song Thought Process. Y'all heard that song? Thought Process? My thought process.
Yeah.
Now as an outcast, but we'll skip to Big Gip's part. See, to me, a G is a person who understands the plan. Can't make no moves when you're in the hands of the man. That's what we've been always taught, right?
Right.
So basically saying when you're with the police and everybody know what the talk is, you have your head and your head down. You say yes, sir, no, sir. You be as compliant as possible, because we all know that what they're capable of. We all know how they see us a majority of the times, right? And they don't see us as human beings. They don't see us as equals. And so we have to put ourselves in a servile position. That's what we've been taught. That's come back from old slave mentality, when the mothers used to, tell their sons how to avoid being beaten and to avoid being killed and not to talk back to massa. You know what I'm saying? So, and I get all that. We have to, when you're in survival mode, you have to make sure you do things to survive.
Right.
But it's 2024. We got to move the needle just a little bit. Why shouldn't we expect the police to do their job and do it well? Their job is, number one, is to serve and protect, right? Part of their job is to de-escalate. They have in their training that they must de-escalate situations when they can. The training that law enforcement has when dealing in situations are under a standard that they call use of force continuum. Officers are instructed to respond with a level of force appropriate to the situation at hand. So what was the situation? We have a traffic violation. The suspect is a football player at the stadium. The officer was obviously working game day traffic. So in no way, shape, or form was Tyreek a threat. Was he agitated? Sure. Do we get agitated when we feel like we've been pulled over, given a ticket, know we're being inconvenienced in certain situations? It happens all the time. So yeah, Tyreek rolled his window back up. You could tell he was agitated. But from the video, you could see clearly into the car. So he was not a threat. You know he wasn't a threat because you know who he is. You know what he was doing or where he was going. So for you to immediately escalate this situation, even though Tyreek was agitated, even though he was a little bit non-compliant, why shouldn't we expect the police to have the same grace that they show and the same restraint that they show when they deal with white people, when they deal with people of a certain economic background? And Tyreek is a black person in a high economic background. You know, you see the type of car he has. He has money. That didn't matter to him. All he saw was a Negro disobeying him. And so he chose to make this situation volatile. He chose to put his knee on the guy's back, put him on the ground, face down, put his knee on his back. When he got stood up, he wanted to slam him back to the curb, to sit him down, which is totally inappropriate. Because and a lot of the a lot of what we hear in the media, a lot of what we hear from our parents, like I said earlier, is when you in that situation, you be quiet. You do what.
And I hate to cut you off right here. Some black people gonna not like me for this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I gotta debate something you said a second ago. You said he escalated the situation, the officer. Did he, or did Tyreek escalate it?
He escalated it. He escalated it because
to me, Tyreek kind of escalated it by not leaving the window down.
Every law enforcement interaction is not positive. So yeah,
right. I'm just disputing your wording on who escalated it first.
No. Again, that's not our job. We're not getting paid to de-escalate situations. We don't get paid to do that. We don't get paid.
You don't get paid to escalate it either.
He gets paid to de-escalate.
Right, the officer, I get it.
The officer gets paid to de-escalate. He has the training.
Tyreek also has a responsibility at that point to be a good citizen.
Everyone has that responsibility. Everyone has that same responsibility.
Right.
Why is it that for most officers, and I'm not saying that all officers do this. You know what I'm saying? We know we have good cops. We know we have great cops that work in difficult situations. But we also know we have some that use their authority.
And I'm completely with you on that. I'm not even disputing that part. You know, I'm not disputing that part with you. But I would also take issue with the fact that you said Tyreek seemed agitated. I don't agree. I think Tyreek seemed, what's the word I'm looking for? He seems like he felt he was above it. I don't think he was agitated. I think he felt like, I'm Tyreek Hill. You don't have the right to pull me over.
That's agitation. That's agitation. That's the definition of being agitated.
No, I don't think it was agitation. I just think he was feeling himself a little bit, that I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm above all this. Don't stop me. You know, maybe agitation is part of it, but I don't think that. I think it's arrogance. I think it was arrogance to Tyreek.
Even still, it doesn't matter
It
his
does.
emotional intelligence at that moment. That doesn't matter because again,
How can him not having emotional intelligence not matter, Chief?
what I'm saying, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Again, what I said at the beginning is we do have an understanding of how we are supposed to act
Right.
in situations, but not every time you're going to depending on what the situation is, dependent on what's happening in your own life. There are times where you've seen with the proper training that officers are able to de-escalate situations. You've seen this happen. And I'm not saying it always happens in a black-white situation. Let's take all of that out of the equation. Okay, let's take the black-white out of the equation, even though it is a healthy, I mean, not a healthy, but an integral and a major part in this entire discussion that we're having. But the thing that we have to start doing is holding our police officers more accountable for managing situations the right way. Yeah, they're going to have to deal in situations where the person being arrested or apprehended or being stopped or pulled over may not be compliant, may feel arrogant, may feel like they're above it. Why are you stopping me? We've seen that on video countless times. And we said, sir, would you please roll your window down? Sir, would you please roll your window down? Again, the threat wasn't there for you to respond that quickly. I can see if this was an ongoing situation. This happened like that, Dante. You saw the video.
Right.
He was ready to. He was already ready to. The moment that Tyreek didn't, when he rolled his window up, is when he got upset. There is not a law that says you must roll your window down. At first the conversation was, oh, his windows must have been tinted. But when you saw the video, you can see right through you can see right into the car. You can see what he had on.
Right.
And so my point in saying all of that is to say, yeah, we have to act a certain way when we're being apprehended by the man.
Let me say this, G.
Go
Let me
ahead.
say let me say this, G. I want to. I'm going to disagree with. I think you were leaning towards saying that the policeman was already there. I don't see the police being there. I think he got there. You saw his mood change with Tyreek's behavior. First of all, let me ask you this: when you get pulled over, when you've been pulled over, has a cop had to knock on your window in order to get you to roll the window down, or do you just roll your window down when they come up to the car? In your
Yeah,
situation,
I rolled my window down.
as they come up to the car, you roll the window down, don't you?
Put your hands on the wheel.
Okay. Tyreek didn't do that. Tyreek left his window up, and I would imagine, I'm guessing that he was calling his agent at the time, telling him what was going on. I've been pulled over, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Now, let's back up. He was pulled over for speeding. He admitted that he was speeding. He said he was late. He said, you about to have me late. Tyreek had the wrong reaction to the entire situation from the get-go. Now, let me say this. I'm not trying to free Tyreek or any of the officers from their behavior. All of them, except for the first cop. The first cop got agitated, right? The second cop was this cop that escalated and pulled him out of the car and got physical, right? The first cop didn't show his agitation until he said, you know what? As a matter of fact, I want you to get out of the car. But it was all because of Tyreek's behavior. Tyreek's behavior from the get-go was completely wrong of somebody that was speeding to work. Completely wrong. Left the window up. The officer had to knock on the window in order for him to let it down. That's number one. Him talking to the cop. Don't knock on my window like that. Don't knock on my window like that. He's ignoring what the cop is even saying. Don't knock on my window like that, bruh. Then he throwing all this other stuff, that little young jit talk that I can't stand. He's talking like an immature adolescent.
That was after he was taking out the car.
No. He was saying, don't knock on my car. Don't knock on my window, bro. Don't knock on my window like that, bro.
I'm talking about after that. The other stuff you were saying that you was referring to, the young jit talk you was referring to, was him saying twin.
No, I'm throwing that part in too. That
was after. I'm just saying that was after.
Knock on my window like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? It's inappropriate.
Because this whole thing could have been over in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mr. Officer, why'd you stop me? Do you know why I stopped you? No, you were speeding. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Let me get your ID and your insurance. Here you go, sir. Thank you. I'm just trying to get to the stadium. One of the Dolphins players got a game going on. And the officer might have said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and hurry up. I'm going to give you a ticket for reckless driving or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Or may not even give him a ticket.
Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
So again, I'm not absolving Tyreek of any of that. All
right.
I'm saying is there are situations where the person being arrested is not going to be compliant. That doesn't matter in a situation because law enforcement are trained to deal with non-compliant people. And so for my issue is, and what I said was, we have to move the needle. We can't just say, oh, everybody should act compliant, because we know that they don't, because of whatever reason. Sometimes the officer pulls us over and it's not legit, or there could be a misunderstanding or whatever. I'm not absolving Tyreek of his behavior, because you're right. Yeah, he could have not. He was the reason that the officer got agitated and didn't de-escalate. What I'm saying is that it's for the officer also, as much as it's for us to be servile in those situations, regardless of whatever the situation is.
I agree with you, but I'm just talking about specifically in this situation. I feel that we have to transition the conversation back to Tyreek, because for their part, they did the right things with the officer. They suspended him, put him on leave or desk duty or whatever. They did the right thing.
That's what I'm saying. We have to do that. There has to be, the only reason why is because it was caught on camera. That's the only reason why. If it wasn't for that, they would have not done any of that. And because
maybe.
What I'm saying is, in situations, we got to move beyond just Tyreek, is because there are situations where if it wasn't,
we can't, because if that was in the dark and was not Tyreek, that young man or young black or black man or woman could be dead. So we can't get that.
That's what I'm talking about, Dante. You making my point.
That's
why they can't act like that.
This is what I think G is trying to get to. So let me give this example. I can't think of his name right now, but when I was in high school, our baseball coach was he taught driver's ed, right? And when you're in high school back then, you could take driver's ed to get your insurance lowered as a new driver or whatnot. So in class, when we talked about being pulled over by the cops, and everybody gets this lesson different, because I got the lesson from my mom and my grandparents and stuff like that too, as far as being pulled over by the cops. But he used to say in class, when you get pulled over by the cops, especially you fellas, and this is him saying that, talking to young black men, when you roll that window down, you should act like you got hit by a sugar truck. So he's telling us to be overly nice, almost sweet to the police. Now, Greg's point is, when does it happen where we don't have to do that? And that's a key point, right? We shouldn't have to resort to fear first.
Right.
Fear of being hurt, or fear of being done wrong, lied on. We shouldn't have to resort to.
And I guess my response to that would be
our first.
Right. If we lived in some type of utopia, then yeah, I'm with you.
Right. I get what you're
I
saying.
don't like that statement, Dante, because we're human. We are prone to have emotions.
Right.
For whatever reason, Tyreek was agitated. For whatever reason. Maybe he had done that same speed before. He couldn't have been going 100 and a 30.
Yeah, but that don't make it okay.
We all know
Tyreek,
speeding.
There was
What
a
I'm
lot
saying
of,
is that we all are prone to make mistakes.
There was a lot of asshole behavior going on in this situation, and it was all uncalled for. All of it. On all parties.
I get
on
that.
both sides.
I'm a end my argument with something that happened to me as a youngster, as a young gent, as you say. This was 1997. I was home from college. Now it's not something similar to Tyreek because I wasn't speeding, but and I definitely wasn't in the wrong. But again, this speaks to my overall point is that we should expect the police to do their job, which also includes de-escalating situations with a non-compliant person when the force of the level, when the level of force or the level of the threat is not high. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my story. It was me and my cousin and my little brother. We were coming in. We had made a run. It was like maybe 10 p.m., something to that effect. It was summertime. Went to a restaurant. Coming back home, my mom lived in an apartment complex at the time. So, when you're in an apartment complex, you got the cars parked on one side, cars parked on the other. The police and the security guard of the complex that we lived in had that block or had the street, you won't call it a street, but the parking lot block where I couldn't get by on either side. So I'm sitting there, I'm playing my music. We sitting there for, I say 5 minutes, just sitting. And so I finally rolled my window down. I was like, hey, can y'all move the car so I can get home? Immediately, the cop escalated. Get the fuck out the car. What are you talking about? Get out the car. Let me see your license. Immediately. After all I said was, hey, can you move over? So again, the level of, I got arrested, was taken to court. I had to go to court for a disorderly conduct charge that I had to pay. Disorderly conduct. And guess what they said? The disorderly conduct. They charged me with disorderly conduct and noise ordinance. They charged me for noise ordinance. They threw the disorderly conduct out, but they charged me for noise ordinance because they said my speaker was too loud. After sitting there for 5 minutes, right, playing my music, they ain't stopped me one time. But again, my reason for bringing that up is sometimes police escalate situations unnecessarily. Yeah, Tyreek was agitated, but if the cop is doing the job in the manner that it's supposed to be conducted, because they are trained to deal with escalated situations. Tyreek was unnecessary. He was. But when do we not have to be perfect human beings and sugar pies for us not to be killed and or mistreated or arrested harshly? That's my point.
Yeah.
I feel you. I can definitely feel you on that, brother. Again, unfortunately, something that's ongoing in our community, man. We definitely won't see it, I don't think, in our lifetimes be corrected. You know what I'm saying? When you got those bad officers on the force at this point, man. Unfortunately, we still had to do those things and teach our young men, unfortunately, to still do those things that we were taught when we were young. You would think by now that we wouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, like I said, if this wasn't Tyreek Hill and it wasn't right out in public like that, that situation could go extremely wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, but your point's well taken, though, brother. We got to hold them accountable. And I'm glad in this case it seems like at least that guy is being held accountable. But I think also ones that sit there and watch it should be held accountable too. Do something. You see him acting up. You know what I'm saying? Do something about it.
Hey man, let's tone it down a little bit.
Right, exactly.
Because the first cop asked him to step out of the car. The second cop didn't allow him the time to step out of the car. The second cop immediately went to the grabbing.
Right.
But again, Tyreek, you were speeding, so don't bring the asshole behavior and attitude to the situation when you were speeding. You admitted to speeding.
Right.
So, my bad. I'm just trying to get to the game. I'm
Trying to
running
get to the
late.
game, bro. The
I'm
thing
running.
is, man, get home, get to your job, get to your family.
You know what
That's
I'm
the
saying?
overarching thing, man. Just get home. You know what I'm saying?
Instead, he went into that. I'm gonna show you up. I'm Tyreek. I play for the Dolphins. You should know this. This a
yeah. And it becomes a contest. Now you got that one officer who's gonna show you. You know what I'm saying?
You
So
see the kind of car I drive, that type of, come on,
but
man. Come
point
on.
is, black men and women out here, man, be careful when engaging with these cops out here in these streets, man. Be careful. So
Show
that's
enough.
our show for today, man. We definitely need y'all to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Trash Talking with the Old Heads. We appreciate y'all support for everybody that's subscribed on YouTube. We also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, man. So check us out, man. We appreciate the support. We'll keep bringing that content, that fire content every single week. For my boy, Greg C, and other homie JW, man. We'll catch y'all on next week. Thanks for hanging out with the Old Heads, man.
Yes, sir. He don't like me, but